Hello YouTube, I hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic. It's KLFX here and I'm back with another Outlook series. So I hope you guys had a nice beginning of the month of October. I feel like from October all the way to December, the market starts, the volume in the market starts to really pick up. So most definitely we're gonna have a lot of great opportunities for this, for the last quarter of the year. So I'm gonna be a little bit more active because I really want to take advantage of the volume of these markets in the upcoming weeks. So without taking much time, guys, let's quickly hop right into the outlook. For Euro USD, I would love to go back to the monthly time frame. I just want to quickly illustrate what is the overall higher time frame intention. You guys should stay tuned because I'm about to drop a video this week which is on market structure, and I saw a lot of people asking me to to do a video about market structure because I feel like a lot of people don't know how to mark correctly the structures, right? The internal structures and the swing structure. So it's something that I'll actually make a video drop this week. So you're looking at Euro USD, for example. If we look at the monthly time frame, we can see that we had a break of structure. Price came back to mitigate this area of interest, and then we had another break of structure. So this was two breaks of structure. So just looking from the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that the overall structure is bearish. Now, if we use, for example, the fib, once you have a break of structure, you can mark the last high and the low, right? So basically the last high before that caused this break was this one right here. So you can use the fib from all the way there to the bottom one. And usually when it comes to pullbacks, I like to see it pull back above 50%, right? So if we have a point of interest around 50%, 61.8, which is the golden zone, that's where price is most likely to tap and then starts to pull back. So price came to this week monthly supply zone, which is situated around 61.8 fib zone, golden zone. Then we drop down to weekly time frame. So we're slowly going down all the way to the lower time frames because we want to understand the overall higher time frame and then medium time frame before we drop into the lower time frame. So price came into the monthly supply zone. What do we have? We can see the structure. We had this previous high, we had this low, and then we had this high. So boom, we have a change of character. Price came to the extremity of that supply zone, and now we're seeing this strong reaction right here, this bearish candle. So this point of interest, some people may ask, okay, why did I choose the week? I mean, if you look at this week, the last candle had a wick that was higher than the previous one. So that means the price swept the liquidity of the previous candle and then pushed all the way down. So this is a point of less buyer's exhaustion. I actually speak a lot of this on, on the private mentorship. I have a video specific on this. But it's a very, very important thing because you can usually use these concepts to get a sniper entry. But on this case, if we drop down, for example, to the daily time frame, I ended up refining that point of interest to somewhere here. So we can see right here at the extremity, we have that point of interest. And that's where price came. So price came into that point of interest. And if I go, for example, if I just zoom in a little bit, we can see something very interesting is that we had a high, we had this low, then break, then price pulled back, and then price was attempting to break above and close. But what happened? Sellers stepped into the market. So buyers exhausted and then sellers stepped in, boom, created this major change of character. So now, as of now, the zones that I'm really looking at, for example, let me just go to the hourly, let me use the 12-hour time frame. I'm actually looking to see if price eventually is going to pull back all the way into this supply zone above, and then we have that continuation to the downside. That's a possibility that I'm considering. But also, if I go down, for example, to 4-hour time frame, I want to understand, okay, what's going on the 4-hour as of now. Just looking at the structure, I think we can clearly see we have this structure low, we have this structure high, and then we have this structure low. So 4-hour broke structure right here, this is the point of interest that I can see that, basically wasn't mitigated. But price, once it broke, price came back to mitigate the zone. So as of now on the 4 hour, the structure on the hourly time frame is bearish, and price just tapped a daily demand zone right here. So if some people would ask, okay, what's my bias on the hourly? I would say my bias is still bearish because the 4 hour is bearish. So once we have a change of character, for example, let's say if price ends up breaking this previous high, that's when I'm gonna change my bias from bearish to bullish. So that will just be the first sign of bullish intention. Maybe that's the bullish intention to see price coming towards that daily supply zone above. So as of now, what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'm monitoring this reaction. Price just tapped here and it's reacting at the supply zone. I'm gonna be sell bias. I'm just gonna be looking for sales on the lower time frame until price decides to break, because there's a possibility that price can just tap as it tapped right here. It can continue to go down, right, violating this previous low. So you want to take advantage of the sell opportunities. Okay, so that's it for Euro USD. Let's go to the next pair. So Aussie dollar, also let's look at Aussie dollar from the weekly time frame. I think that's all we need. And if we look at just the past, we can see that we had a break, mitigation. We had a break of structure, price then came to mitigate, and then we had this internal major change of character, and price just came into this supply zone right here. This actually, you guys can see the same concept, right? The candle is higher than the previous one, so that was a liquidation, meaning the buyers had to they had to buy to take liquidity and then sell immediately. That's why price is now doing the RTO, which is the return toward the block. So price just came into this weekly supply zone. What should we look at? Let's go to the daily time frame. So on the daily, we can clearly see that the structure is bullish up to this point, right? So the structure is bullish. This is the order block that price has now tapped into. So this is an area of reaction that we're seeing happening right now. Now, as an intraday trader, usually we tend to focus on the 4-hour time frame, right? So if I go down, for example, to 2 hours, which is basically the same thing, I think maybe we should look at 4 hours. Let me just go to M30 time frame. And if we look at M30 time frame, what we can see on Aussie dollar is that the medium time frame structure is still bearish up to this point. What I would love to see, since price tapped that daily, what I would love to see is price actually to come up, violating these highs right here, right? So I will need to see that change of character to the upside, and then I can fully be confident to buy. Right now, we can say that yes, we had some internal M15, right, with mitigations and then break of structure, but I'll be much more confident to see price breaking these major highs right here. So I want to see the change of character to the upside. That will tell me that, okay, we're going to be a little bit bullish for a while. But as of now, I think the structure is still bearish because we had this break of structure, mitigation, then a break of structure, and price now just came into the supply zone. This supply zone actually is something that I refined on the lower time frame, like 5 minutes, but that's what price is doing right now. So that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's go to the next pair. Now the next pair is GU. Also GU, I'm gonna look at it from the weekly time frame. GU is quite interesting lately. I'm got my eyes on GU, you know. So right now, if we look at the weekly time frame, just real quick, we can see that price. We had this break of structure right here on the weekly, and then price came back to the supply zone after a while, right? I think it took about like 2 years for price to come back into this supply zone. Now, once price comes to my weekly, I like to drop down to the daily time frame. Now, looking at the daily, there is something quite interesting that I'm seeing. It's something that happens a lot of the times in the market. Sometimes you're going to have situations when price breaks structure, then pulls back a little bit, and then breaks structure. So a lot of people are waiting to buy from this supply zone, and price can use this low as inducement to come to this one that's in unmitigated. So that's how they grab liquidity, which is through inducement, and then they continue to push up. So this is kind of the situation that I'm seeing right now on GU, is because we had a break of structure, and look at all the imbalances that are sitting below, so much imbalances. and then price pulled back and then broke structure again. So I'm looking to see this low to be taken out, price to come to this demand zone, and then we're gonna have some major reaction, right? So just looking at the daily, that I'm considering this low to be inducement. Now I'll drop down, for example, to 4 hour, or let me use the 1 hour time frame. So as an intraday trader, I'm really focused on the hourly structure. So the hourly structure is bearish. We can clearly see we had a break, price mitigated the supply zone, gave a second break of structure. Now we came back to the supply zone and we see the reaction. Price is now making its way all the way down to this previous low. So what should we do once the market opens? Once the market opens, we're gonna be looking for sales on the lower time frames, right? So it can be another M15, for example. Let me drop down to M15 time frame. As of now, we had a liquidation, then this break of structure, so maybe we can look into this supply zone right here on the M15 to see if price is going to come back, look for lower time frame change of character, and then we sell, right? So basically, we're just going to be looking for sales, and we're going to target this 1 hour previous low because the structure on the 1 hour is bearish, okay? So everything is in alignment right now. So that's it for GU. The next pair. Our next pair is going to be New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar, let's look at it also from the weekly time frame. I think it's pretty clear that this overall structure is absolutely bearish. Price came to this extreme supply zone. I mean, it just took a while to come to this supply zone. And we can see the major reaction once it tapped there. We can see the sellers actually stepped in aggressively into the markets. Right, so they just created basically this strong daily change of character. Now, what are the zones that we should be looking at? This will be the wall zone right here. Once we have this change of character, we're expecting price to come back into that supply zone. But since this is a daily, I think it's going to take a while. Now, what should we do as an intraday trader? As always, we can drop down, for example, to 2 hours time frame, or yeah, it can be 2 hours time frame. And we can see that something just happened before price broke, created that daily break of structure. We had a pullback and then boom, break, and price just came into that supply zone. So what we can do basically is just to see, we can look for sales, maybe to see if price is going to continue to push down, or we can just be patient to see if price is going to violate this previous high, create a change of character to the upside, which will give us a signal that we're making our way all the way to this daily supply zone. So we have to react to what the market is showing right now, guys. It's very important. So on the medium time frame, when you look at it, everything is bearish, right? Price just came into this supply zone. We had a break, mitigation, then we have a second break of structure here. Price came back, and now we are supposed to look for sales. Until price actually breaks the structure, that's when we're going to change our bias from bearish to bullish on the medium time frame. Okay, so that's it for New Zealand dollar. Let's go to the next pair. Our next pair today is going to be a very different one that I usually do a breakdown on. I usually don't talk about Euro Aussie, but I mean Euro Aussie is just a very good pair, guys. I would really recommend a lot of you guys to look into this pair. It has a very good price action, great price movements and volume as well. So I just figured to just do a small breakdown on this one. Now, very important thing to look at here is we had a break of structure to the upside. Price then came back, mitigated this demand zone, right? And then it started to make its way up, trying to make the second break of structure to maintain the bullish order flow. But what happened? Once price came here, we saw the rejection of higher prices. This is bullish sentiment in the market in depletion, sellers stepping in aggressively into the market to basically negate that bullish move. So once we have failure of price to close above the previous high, that shows that the buyers are no longer in control, right? So sellers stepped into the market aggressively. So that means that this low, for example, it failed to do its job, this low. The job of this low was actually to cause a break of structure and close above, but it failed to do that. So now this low is considered to be a weak low. Now, if we drop down, for example, to 4 hour time frame, we can see what's going on pretty much here on the 4 hour is just looking at the structure. The 4 hour is absolutely bearish, right? Because we had this major break of structure, then mitigation, break of structure. Price came back to this 4-hour supply zone, and now price is making its way down to this 4-hour previous low. Now, as an intraday trader, let's go to M30 time frame. We want to look for selling opportunities right here. So looking at this structure right here on the M30, we can see that we have a break, mitigation, second break of structure. So basically, what we're looking for is to see price coming back to this supply zone and then boom to the downside. So for people that don't want to go into the lower time frames, this can be a nice opportunity to sell. Put a sell limit right here and target like a 1 to 1, 1 to 2. But what I would really recommend is to wait for price to come back here and drop down to 5 minutes, and then you have a change of character. It's just going to be very, very good entry. I mean, you can get a very good entry right here because everything is in alignment. We've seen 4 hour is bearish. We came to M30 is bearish. So what rests us to do is to, once price comes to supply zone, to remain bearish. Look only for sales. Okay. So let's go to the last pair. So our last pair is the infamous gold, and let's quickly start it from the daily time frame. I mean, gold is just on a completely bull run, right? If I should say, it's just continued to push all the way up. We can see if you look left, we had a break, mitigation, break of structure right here. This major break of structure, mitigation. Basically, it usually is breaking structures and then coming back to mitigate. But on this one, I mean, price just continue to push all the way up. So, I mean, what I'm trying to see is maybe I'm looking to see if gold is going to pull back to either this point of interest right here, which is the extreme one, or at least some of these zones right here. So that's the one. I mean, the reason why I don't like this one is because I don't see a very nice structure break, right? I don't see a clear solidified low and then a break of structure to the upside. So the one that I'm seeing actually is this one below. So just looking at it, we can drop down, for example, to 2 hours time frame and see what's the idea that we have for gold for this week. And just looking, for example, at the structure, we can see we had a very nice, we had this was a previous high, then this low, and then this high, right? So we had a break of structure, which is a change of character. Price came back to mitigate the supply zone responsible for the break, and then we had a nice another break of structure. Now, some people will say, why I chose this point of interest? Why did I mark that point of interest and I didn't choose, for example, this one? Well, this actually was a valid one. It was actually the decisional, push up before the break that took out this previous low. But the reason why I picked this one as well is because price had liquidated the previous structure high, so it took liquidity, and then it started the whole move that came all the way to break this low. So this was still left unmitigated, and it's the exactly same concept that I was talking on that video. You can see this week is higher than the other weeks right here. So we swept liquidity and then pushed down. So that means that buyers actually had to buy and then sell immediately. So to come back to close the orders and break even, and then most likely we're going to have that push towards the downside. So that's exactly it for gold. Looking at this is the 2 hours time frame. So what I'm going to be looking for is on the M15, I want to see a very clear break of structure to the downside. So I'm going to be very, very patient with gold. If I look here, this was the high, this the low, and this the high. So I want to see price pulling back and then creating a change of character, and that's when I'm going to be selling gold. Okay, so that's it, guys, for the outlook. I hope you guys were able to enjoy the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to do me a favor, guys. It won't take as much. Just hit the like button. Let's share a lot of these videos, and stay tuned because I'm going to drop a video on market structure. And also, guys, a lot of people, I'm actually doing a service to pass challenges as well. I passed funded next. I passed what else? FTMO, funded next, Alpha, and Blue Guardian, Blueberry funded. I mean, all these platforms I can pass. So if you're interested in getting funded, feel free to hit my DM below and to join the mentorship. There is a 30% discount, so feel free to join. We're gonna build a trading plan specific for each person. So I'm absolutely open. So guys, thank you guys once again, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.